Hello everyone, I'm here with Zazubaar.
Hey guys.
And, yeah, so we're gonna talk about this, what is it? We're gonna talk about the Doctor Who?
Who is Doctor Who? Oh, that was bad. Wow.
Yeah, this is a great start, huh, folks?
I know, right? Wow. Really, I'm sorry guys, I'm leaving. This is shit.
Yeah, this is your fault, Bill.
I know, I blame myself too. Fuck you, Bill. Wait, what?
Anywho,
bad puns keep on rolling, yeah.
we're not even, we're hardly a minute in and we've already gotten 3 bad puns in.
Yeah. So, Deadpoolzilla, who's next?
Take a shot every time you hear that word, folks.
Okay. What are we talking about today, though?
Today we're talking about, since we're getting a new Doctor at the end of the year, and in the new season, season 8, we get a new Doctor, and we're
who is that Doctor?
we're just this. Me and I talked to Bill about this idea, and he's like, "Oh, that's a cool idea. I want to talk about it." So basically, what the idea is that now that when we get the 12th Doctor, Peter Capaldi, this is just places we'd like to see the Doctor go that we've hardly seen or never seen him go to, like places in time or other worlds or stuff like that. So, if I may I go first?
Sure, it's your channel, man. You take the reins.
All right. So the first place, first and foremost, this is the one place I've always wanted to see the Doctor go. And they've mentioned he's gone there in books and a few audio dramas, but never like on the TV show we've seen him go there. I'd love to see the Doctor go to Japan.
Oh, he's never done that in the show?
Yeah, he's never been to Japan.
Well, that's bizarre.
And here's the thing, I could be cool with them going to modern day Japan, the 40s Japan, or even, the feudal era or Edo era of Japan.
Right. Oh my god, imagine right before the bomb gets dropped.
I was just about to say that, the day, him and Clara go to Hiroshima after, the day before the atomic bomb drops, and Clara is like, this is the day it's gonna happen. The Doctor's like, yeah, it's gonna happen, and we're not going to stop it.
Yeah. I mean, it's just like, and then you throw in a plot around that. It could be, it could work similarly to,
the Fires of Pompeii.
The Fires of Pompeii, or also a little bit even like the Empty Child two-parter with, the bombing.
Yeah, or even, the Waters of Mars.
Waters of Mars, yep. An event that he can't stop. And Clara, kind of similarly to Donna, could be like, why can't we stop it? That we can get an explanation for cause and effect and all the time stuff. And you can ask the question that Donna didn't say out loud, but you definitely were supposed to think about. But we solved so many other cataclysmic problems. Why not this one?
Yeah, that's a great one. That's a great way to go. It's like, you've solved so many. You stopped the nuclear threat in the 80s in, your past life. Why can't you stop this?
Right.
I would be like, you think I don't like this idea? And he's
yeah.
And the Doctor is, obviously he tried to be calm about it, and then, eventually just get to him getting angry about it. Yeah, he knows he can't do anything about it, and he feels like it's gonna be on him.
Right. Yeah, totally. And, ironically, Peter Capaldi was also in the Fires of Pompeii, so that's a little bit of irony right there.
Yeah.
But, yeah, totally. It could just be like, and also I think what would work about that is that we have an older Doctor now. I mean, of course, Smith or Tennant or Eccleston, too, could have sold that scene. But the fact that we have an older Doctor, I think that you have the ability to really play up the grizzledness of this character. Because David Tennant, I think, and Matt Smith in Season 7 did this the best. They play an old, young man. I even think, to a certain degree, Matt Smith was a little bit more pronounced that than Tennant was. I'm just playing this super old man, this ancient man in this really young body. And it was always so interesting to see the Doctor feel old. And now that we've got an older Doctor being that way, I think it could be really interesting to see a scene like that.
Yeah. And that's always how Matt Smith played his Doctor. He said in an interview, I wanted to play a Doctor that is all young and happy. He's young and happy and wants to have a lot of fun, but if he ever was like alone for a long enough time, he'd want to kill himself.
Yeah, I listened to, I believe I listened to the same interview where he was like, the Doctor's one of those characters where if he doesn't act all upbeat and shit, he'd probably put a bullet in his mouth. Just because of all the blood that's on his hands.
Yeah.
And I was like, that's so true.
And he plays... again, this makes me feel so sad that Smith is going to be leaving soon.
I know, right? Oh, it's so...
Because
so
as
sad.
much as David Tennant, I started watching Doctor Who through David Tennant reruns, but it was Smith who I followed through each season.
He's our Doctor because he's the one who, when we got into the show, he was the guy. So, even though he's not my favorite, he was my Doctor because he was the one who was the character at the time. When you said Doctor Who, that was the face, and now it's going to be a whole different face. So it's sad. But I'm all up for a change, but it's just sad. He was so good in the role.
And I think he mention of that following his career, I think he's now in talks to work in the next Bond film.
Yes, I heard that as well. I'm so excited. Now, he said before he would love to play a villain, and I'm all for that. I'm all for whatever he wants to play in that. And I've been saying for the past couple of since Skyfall came out, almost a year now, I've been like, next movie should have Blofeld in it. And while he's not old enough to play Blofeld, I actually think that the best casting for that character would be Chris Eccleston. That would be amazing.
Yeah. I think Smith would be cool as an agent of Spectre.
Well, imagine him as Emilio Largo from Thunderball. He was a little bit of an older character too, but that's a character you can easily age down because he's nothing more than a millionaire. So age isn't really a factor. But Blofeld got to kind of be an older character. But Smith would be an awesome, threatening Largo with an eye patch and the black turtleneck. That'd be awesome. Yeah.
Well, I know he's playing a villain in what's his name? Ryan. He was in Gangster Squad. He was the blonde guy.
What are we talking about?
He's gonna be in this. He's gonna be a villain in. He's gonna be a villain in this movie called How to Catch a Monster.
Oh.
Yeah.
Okay. Cool. Is that? Oh, that's why he shaved his head, right?
Yeah, that's the reason.
Oh, okay. I figured as much because I saw a video of him online. And I was like, he looks really buff, and his head is shaved. What the fuck happened?
Yeah. So, anyway, back to the video.
Back to Doctor Who. But yeah, I love the idea of him going to Japan. You know me, I'm a big fan of Japan. Yeah. Seeing the Doctor go there, I'm all for it.
Yeah, but you could go to the age of the samurais and all that, the feudal era, and maybe you could have it the Doctor and Clara go join a samurai to kill a kappa, and it turns out the kappa's a type of alien.
Oh, dude, that'd be awesome. You could do a Godzilla reference, have this giant kappa and shit.
Yeah, or it could be it's an ice warrior.
You see, yeah, that's the thing. I want to see some more ice warriors. I mean, they've never been in the reincarnation of the show until Cold War.
Yeah. So well, technically, they reintroduced in a Doctor Who novel written by Dan Abnett.
Right.
It's called The Silent Stars Goes By, and it's really good so far, and it's basically the 11th Doctor and Amy and Rory meeting the Ice Warriors.
Right.
But yeah, I'd love to see another Ice Warrior story, and maybe the Kappa, they look you could say they look they're very reptilian and all that, and say oh, they're the Kappa.
Yeah, their armor looks like the Kappa. The Kappa at its core is basically, I believe it's a cross between a turtle and a frog.
Yeah.
So, and that's kind of how an Ice Warrior looks, and then you can play with them taking the armor on it off.
Yeah, and you could even say because the Kappa is very in Legends, the Kappa is very honorable and it shows respect to its opponents, and the Ice Warriors are like that.
Yeah, they're warriors. They're kind of like the Doctor Who's equivalent of a Predator.
Or the Klingons.
Or the Klingons as well. So, have they ever done a crossover where those two fight?
No, the only when we got in the IDW's Doctor Who's Star Trek crossover, we had the Cybermen and the Borg team up.
Oh, that's disappointing. That would have been amazing. But didn't they also do one with the Tom Baker Doctor in the original cast?
That was in the Star Trek Doctor Who crossover. It's just a little one. It's just like a little mini story inside of it.
Oh, okay, that's disappointing. But anyway, so yeah, that should happen. But yeah, I'm all for the Doctor going to Japan.
Yeah.
See him like fucking beat up some samurai and shit.
It's kind of funny because there was a story that Duke Loops told me. There was an audio drama with the Sixth Doctor called Paper Cuts, and he told me the Sixth Doctor fights an origami samurai. I was like, oh my god, does the Doctor go to Japan? No, it's another planet, but he fights origami samurai.
Oh, disappointing.
Yeah. But
I wanna go back to a Doctor who's not afraid to beat the shit out of someone, like the Third Doctor. I mean, I know with his current character development that would be kind of regressive, but just like I said this to you once, I never knew that there was a time when the Doctor did shit like that, and I saw this clip of the Third Doctor where he just starts beating someone up, and I'm like, oh my god, this guy's awesome.
Yeah, he is very much like if James Bond retired.
If James Bond was a Time Lord, that's what he would be like.
Yeah.
He drinks and he's classy and shit.
Yeah. He basically beats a guy to near to death while holding a wine glass in one hand.
Oh my god, that's amazing. John Pertwee's one of my favorite Doctors.
Yeah. So, Bill, what is one place you'd like to see the Doctor go?
One place I would like to see the Doctor go, and I said this to you once off recording, and I think this would be really cool. The Doctor has never come across a character like a superhero. I mean, in some regards, you could argue the Doctor is kind of like a superhero, but I want to see the Doctor meet like an actual superhero, whether it be on Earth or on another planet, whatever it may be. Because then you could also incorporate some kind of sci-fi alien stuff in order to work in the Doctor Who universe into this superhero. I think that could be really, really cool. And it's nothing like that has ever happened to my knowledge. He's never come across a costume-wearing heroic figure saving a planet, stopping aliens like he does. I just think that could be really cool if he met a character like that.
Yeah. My thing is that I'd really like to see that to happen, but don't make it like total superhero parody.
No. You do a legit superhero. Like you literally take a guy. Again, whether it be on Earth or another planet, I think Earth would be more interesting, but whatever. It really doesn't matter. So you throw the guy in. You give him powers that perhaps allude to an origin that the Doctor could get involved in. And then then the Doctor just experiences what this guy does, and maybe they have some disagreements with how you save people and shit. Maybe they team up for a little bit, and then at the end, I guess just for the sake of drama, you have to get rid of the superhero somehow.
Yeah, either he loses his powers or he sacrifices himself.
Yeah, I think sacrificing himself would be more powerful. I think that could be really, really cool.
You know what would be interesting? If you played it up like the superhero thinks like he was given his powers through religious means, and it turns out aliens did this to him. Like, you could introduce a new alien as factor, and the aliens were kind of just testing on him, and before he became a superhero, he was like a guy, he was mentally ill. He was born with a birth defect, and then the next day he's totally fine, and he gets superpowers, so he kind of thinks, oh, totally God did this to me.
Oh my god. Alright, you set it in the mid-50s, Earth. And you have this guy who has polio. And you have him in a wheelchair. And that happens to him just as you described. He gets abducted by aliens. He doesn't remember it, though. And he wakes up with these superpowers, and he starts being a superhero, talking about God gave me the gift to, fight evil. And the Doctor does a scan with him with a sonic screwdriver, and gives him this look, or just gives a look just like, oh, no, and doesn't tell the guy, and then at the end he reveals to the guy, no, you were experimented on by aliens, and this is dangerous, these powers are dangerous, these aliens have a dastardly plan, and then you can have this guy go through this path of this kind of small atheism, questioning his faith scene, and then maybe he just says, I don't care where these powers came from, I'm going to use it to save the Earth, and then sacrifices himself to stop the aliens. And the Doctor would have a respect for him, like, that you are a real hero then, no matter where you got your powers from.
Yeah. I was actually thinking you could explain why the aliens gave him powers, because their whole thing is that this is what they do. They take somebody inconspicuous, they experiment on him, give him superpowers, and make him like their first shot trooper for the invasion. Like they use him like their general or their champion, the one with the most powers, and they have like a little device in his head that the moment they need him, they can activate his powers, and then he can turn on the human race, or even use them. Or even you could have it like, or have it like secretly or powerful suggestions through this guy's mind, and saying, oh, these aliens are here to help us, not realizing that he's secretly being controlled by them.
Oh, good call. I like that idea a lot. And maybe they put this thing in his head that's just like, help them at first so you gain their trust, and then we'll turn on them later. So then, when you have that last climax and he regains control of his mind, maybe he loses the power, maybe he doesn't, maybe you need him to solve the problem. He sacrifices himself, and that's when the Doctor says, no matter what, you are a real hero. Powers or not, where they came from, what you did, you are a real hero.
Yeah. Oh, it would be a great superhero name for him to go by?
What?
Major Patriot.
Yes, you have to be like a diehard. You basically have to be Superman, but a lot more Christian.
Yeah. Basically Nathan Fillion from Super.
Yes. So what you do, maybe he takes his name from the Bible or something, I don't know. That could be cool. And then he's all American and religious, and I think that could be really, really cool. I just want to see the Doctor meet a superhero, because there's never been anything like that. He's always the most supernatural thing with the alien threat in those stories. Everything else is very grounded. I want to see like another outlandish concept thrown in that you could do on television. The reason why Doctor Who does that is because it's a television show, not a movie, so they can't necessarily do these elaborate plots. But superhero you could do on TV.
Yeah, and the other thing, like, I'd like to have this superhero not like he's all like, oh yeah, totally all American, Christian, gays are evil and all this. Like, no, I'd really like this guy to be like, he has like the religious fundamental values, but he's not like, oh, gay people are bad, or
No, he's not the Westboro Baptist Church.
Yeah, I'd have it like he's off saving people, like he saves like this group of African American people from being hung by some.
Yeah, he stops like the Klan and shit. Yeah.
Yeah, he's just like we're all Americans and all this, and he's like skin color doesn't matter to me. It's like as long as like they share the American dream.
God creates everyone equal and all that religious stuff.
Yeah. I just like he's just it's like, imagine if Captain America got Superman's powers. That's how I imagine this superhero would be.
Right. Totally. Well, that happened with the Super Soldier, but
well, I mean, like he got Superman's powers.
Right. But yeah, totally. That's. I just want to see the Doctor being a superhero. Hey man, I'm sorry. Just one sec. Someone's screaming for me. I'll be back in 1 sec.
All right. That was a really cool idea, and we got so much out of that.
Yeah, I know. Well, it's something I'm shocked they've never done. I mean, budgets aside, they've done stuff, that level of like insanity before, but they've never done a superhero. So it's like, go for it.
Yeah. So, is it cool if I take the next pick?
Take it away, my brother.
All right. I would like to see the Doctor go to 5 points.
What's that?
Late mid 1800s New York. It was a district.
Oh, okay.
Do you remember Gangs in New York?
I've never seen Gangs in New York. I'm sorry.
Well then, we're done talking.
Oh no.
I'm just kidding. I'd love to see the Doctor go to 5 points. It was this very corrupt, very dismal place in New York. Go look it up. I mean, go watch Gangs in New York or go watch BBC's Copper. I'm not saying do a Doctor Who Copper crossover.
Even though that would be awesome.
But yeah, I think this would be a lot of fun. Having the Doctor go to the dregs of humanity in 5 points and being like, Oh, now I remember why I don't come here.
Yeah, I mean that's the thing. I've never seen the Doctor deal with like gang corruption before. I mean, he's dealt with political corruption with the Master, but not like criminal like gangs and shit and gang war. That could be cool. And
The place, all of 5 Points was pretty corrupt. Even the police and all that. It's like no matter what good you could do, it's not going to help.
Right. Exactly. And maybe the Doctor inspires someone to be to fight the corruption to be better. Maybe whether it be a police officer or something, someone who was just kind of accepting it and not doing anything to stop it. That could be cool.
Yeah, that'd be a lot. I think that'd be a lot of fun of just the Doctor going to this place and just being like, and just seeing like all the bad humanity can offer.
Right.
Because there was even points where fire departments from different districts would get into fist fights over who would put out a fire while the fire's going on and people are breaking in and taking stuff. That's how bad it was.
Oh my god! Sounds like the RoboCop universe.
Yeah.
But yeah, that'd be cool.
Yeah.
You do like a noir style like Doctor Who episode where it's or not noir but like just a grungy, dark, downtrodden, impoverished Doctor Who tone. That could be cool.
Yeah,
Visually
and I think this would be a great way to show like where because apparently, as we saw in that episode, the Weeping Angels have total control over New York. So maybe this could be like the origin of how the Angels did a silent invasion of New York.
I don't know how. Yeah, and I never understood like how they became the Statue of Liberty and no one noticed. I mean, that's kind of big. That was the one part of the episode where I was like, really? I mean, the Statue of Liberty, and it's disappointing because it's like they show it in the first 2 minutes.
Exactly.
That should have been something they should have revealed later. That would have been insanely awesome.
Yeah. Therein lies the problem.
Yeah. And here's the other thing. Here's where the Weeping Angels as a concept started to show their weakness in that episode. They not only can't move apparently when someone's looking at them, but also when the non-existent fourth wall camera is looking at them. Because even when Rory has his back turned to the thing, it's not moving. So that was I was like, really? I don't know. That episode has a lot of hit and miss stuff about it.
Yeah. But yeah, that's what I'd like to see with the Doctor in 5 Points. What about any other places for you?
I had another one, and it dropped off the top of my mind. I mean, just overall, here's what I want to see the Doctor do in the new series. Eccleston was the oldest Doctor of this new stuff.
Well, until Capaldi.
What?
Well, until Capaldi shows up.
Exactly, that's my point. So let's do stories that would work better for an older Doctor. So let's do stuff. Let's do stuff that's related. Let's do not darker stuff, but just stuff that's a little bit more like I don't know. Just stuff that relates closer to him looking older. So maybe he gets into like a gentleman's club or something in like early New York or something like that.
Yeah. How about the Doctor going to ending up at the Spanish Inquisition?
That could be cool too. Yeah.
And that would be another great way of showing, humans at their worst. People he protects doing the most horrible things to one another. Or, right. The Doctor in the Salem witch trials.
Yeah, totally. Well, we saw their take on witches and it wasn't so great, but
Well, I mean, like the Doctor being accused of being a witch.
Oh, that's actually a really good idea. He uses his sonic screwdriver to do something, and they assume he's doing witchcraft. That could be cool.
Yeah, and have some kind of monster stalking the woods.
Yeah.
And just say like, oh, he conjured it.
Or maybe people are getting blamed for what this monster is doing.
Yeah.
I think what could also be really cool is I think you and I talked about this once. Do the Frankenstein monster in the Doctor Who universe. universe.
Yeah, and they have toyed around with an Eighth Doctor audio drama.
Oh, really?
Yeah, they did that with the Eighth Doctor, kind of. But yeah, you could do this with the 12th Doctor and play around with the idea. And oh yeah, episode name: The Frankenstein Genesis.
Yes, totally. So like the Doctor shows up, and this is after Victor Frankenstein, or yeah, I guess you'd have to do a a fill-in because Frankenstein's a fictional character, so you would do it like in the Frankenstein theory movie where it's Dr. Vankenheim, and you do it like that, and you have this guy create the monster, and Mary Shelley can be like a one-off companion, and they're trying to and you do it like the book where the monster is a philosopher, so or has a philosophical mind, and I would love to see a debate between him and the Doctor.
Yeah. I would love to see also Clara and the Doctor talking to Mary Shelley, saying, this could benefit all of mankind, and the Doctor saying, I've been to the start of the universe to its end, and in nowhere in humans in mankind's history is this a good idea.
Yeah, exactly.
It'd also be, like you said, a great debate between the monster and the Doctor.
Right. Totally.
Of just saying, am I not allowed to, experience life?
And I think we also talked about this. What if Vankenheim or whoever the fuck the villain is finds out about the Doctor's regeneration?
Yeah.
And tries to steal some of the energy, so he starts doing experiments on him.
Yeah, that would be another great way, and again, it would be the whole question of life kind of thing.
Well, also, the Doctor could talk about how living more than one life, having pseudo-immortality is not always a fun thing. I've lived, 1,200 now?
Yeah, 1,200.
He's 1,200. I've lived 1,200 years, and I would love to erase more than half of it. Yeah. From my memory, just because of the stuff that happens to me.
Yeah,
so,
and the people I've lost.
The people I've lost, the people I've seen pass me by, the inability to love another person equally, to watch my entire race die and be the cause of it. So, yeah, that could be really cool. Also, you don't have to go crazy with the monster's makeup. You don't have to go all Van Helsing on it where it's got like gizmos and gears in it and shit. Just do simple stitches, a little bit of gray skin. You do it like the Robert De Niro movie, just not as insane with the stitches. Like it was a minimalistic makeup, but they went nuts with where all the stitches were.
Yeah. Yeah, because the monster in the original book is not that horrendous. He's hideous, but he's not like a whole amalgam of. He's not like the creature we saw in Van Helsing or some of the other incarnations.
Not at all. He wasn't even as crazy as Karloff, or in terms of like design as Jack Pierce made in the book. I mean, I love that design to death, but that's not what he always was described in the book. So if you want to do a Frankenstein that's closer to the book, and the monster, I mean. You just do it with gray skin, you shave the guy's head, or you can keep it long.
Yeah.
I actually believe in the book it was longer hair. So, also, one thing I would say, as a guy who loves the book, give him yellow eyes. In the book, he's described as having these horrific yellow, unnatural eyes, and none of the movies have ever used it.
Yeah.
So
that would be a great way. Who would be you obviously need someone who's a very tall actor, or a guy on stilts, or just shot differently. But the actor I could see is playing the Frankenstein monster is you've seen the Robert Downey Jr. Sherlock Holmes, right?
Yes.
Do you remember the giant French guy he had to fight?
Yes.
He's an actual. He was a former wrestler and a pro wrestler, and he's doing a lot of monster work. Like
cool.
He played the giant guy Leonidas fought in 300.
Oh, okay.
And I think he still does work. He still does movie work. So if you can get that guy to play the Frankenstein monster, it'd be perfect.
Yeah. Or another actor who has never been cast as the character who I always thought made a lot of sense was Doug Jones.
Yeah.
Tall ass dude. I mean, you have to get a little more bulky, but I mean, he would be an amazing Frankenstein monster.
Yeah, and plus we've been getting a lot of big name actors in Doctor Who recently. I mean, John Hurt's a great testament to that.
I mean, when I saw that, I was like, oh my god.
Yeah, in this season alone, we got frickin' David Warner and Warwick Davis.
Yep.
And in past seasons we had like Simon Pegg, and we've had so many other like great actors in Doctor Who. So I think someone like Doug Jones would be easy to get.
Right.
And I think you're right. He would play a great monster.
In terms of the scientist, of the Dr. Frankenstein villain. Oh man.
I would really like to see someone like who I had a perfect cast for this scientist.
Cumberbatch played him in a play, and it was awesome.
I don't think you could get... Well, the thing is, like, I'd like to see Cumberbatch, but I think he's too busy. I mean, I'd like to see him in Doctor Who.
But, yeah, I know. But I'm just saying, like, someone with that kind of intensity, he played an amazing Dr. Frankenstein, by the way.
I think you need someone young and naive. Like, someone who can play young and naive, whose intentions are pure, but is just going about it all the wrong way.
You know who I thought was like a modern-day Frankenstein type of character in recent movie history?
Who?
Charlie Day in Pacific Rim.
Yeah, I think he could work.
I mean, you have to put on an accent, but and kind of be less, less rock starish. But I mean, that was like a modern day Frankenstein type of character.
Well, who was the other guy? I think he could play a good Frankenstein. He played in Dark Knight Rises like the scummy guy.
He was also in Torchwood.
Yeah.
So you see, he clearly, he's been in the universe before, so why not?
Yeah. He played Owen in Torchwood.
Yep.
So I think he could play it'd be a nice little nod, like saying, "I hope my ancestors never get mixed up with you." It's like, "I hope my descendants never get mixed up with you, Doctor."
Yes. That'd be great.
Yeah, and he played like pretty much a Doctor-esque character before, in Pacific Rim.
Yeah, I mean his character was very conservative, but I guarantee, based on who he is in Torchwood, he could do the polar opposite. So, I mean, he's a horn dog in Torchwood. So,
yeah.
Then again, all the characters are. So.
But yeah, I think that would definitely, like, actually what you could do with him is kind of mix that Torchwood persona with the persona we saw in Pacific Rim and make it something like almost the Peter Cushing Frankenstein.
Oh man, I wish Peter Cushing would have had a better role in Doctor Who.
I think he could totally pull off a Peter Cushing-esque. That actor could play a very Peter Cushing-esque Frankenstein. That is my favorite incarnation of Victor Frankenstein ever.
Oh, mine as well. I mean, it's very different from the book, but that's why I like it. He's just totally psychotic, but you always know a good performance when he turns a psychotic asshole into a likable protagonist.
Yeah.
It's just like, that's a good performance, and I love that franchise. That's probably my favorite Frankenstein series of all of them. Also some amazing Frankenstein monster acting in that series as well.
Yeah, it's kind of funny that one of the monsters went on to play the bodywork of Darth Vader.
Yeah, I mean, there were a lot of Star Wars actors in those Frankenstein movies. You had Christopher Lee as the first monster. Peter Cushing, of course, was Victor Frankenstein. Then he was the Admiral in Star Wars. And, of course, Count Dooku was Christopher Lee. Then, of course, David Prowse was Darth Vader. I believe there was another one, too. I don't know. But there were a ton of Star Wars Hammer horror crossovers.
Yeah. So, yeah, that's another great idea. So, like, again, this would bring up with Doctor Who and Frankenstein is that whole question of life and, how long, is something like the monster would even bring up, does my, you once said that you protected all lives. Do I count, or do you see me as an abomination?
Am I the life you save or the monster you destroy?
Yeah. Or is it and then you'd just be like, or is it the other way around?
Yeah.
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 Yeah, it's just saying like the monster giving him like, well, who's the monster here? The one who wants to live or the one who wants to destroy who he considers unpure?
Yeah. And then the doctor will be like, "You're killing people."
He's like,
yeah.
and then the monster would be like, well, it was in self-defense. And it'd be a great way to end the episode. And I think we talked about this, like how a great way to end this episode is because for those who don't know, when Mary Shelley when Frankenstein first came out, Mary Shelley was hated because it was a woman who wrote it. And it was
not only that, it was also considered a trashy book, just filled with gore and sex and violence. And when you read it now, it's very, very tame. But back then, it was considered like it was basically the 50 Shades of Grey of its day.
Yeah. So it would be kind of cool as like someone who actually likes her book coming to her house, and this would be after her husband and her children are dead, because spoiler alert, they die in history.
Yeah. Well, what you could do, imagine this, like you cut like years and years later, she's old and shit, and there's a knock on her door, and it's the doctor.
Or, well, the idea I had is like someone coming to her house and telling her like, I gotta know, where'd you come up with the idea for this? I mean, and then she would be like, I'll tell you the story. The real story of a madman and his blue box.
Yes. Yes. That'd be awesome.
Yeah. Or just like this is the story of a madman, a monster, and a blue box.
Yes. That's the title of the episode right there.
Yeah. Well, or you could say or you just call it Monsters and Men.
Well, that's a little too. Well, I like the original idea. The Frankenstein Genesis is amazing.
Yeah.
But yeah, that'd be awesome. In that same vein, the Doctor and all the Universal monsters.
Yeah. That'd be kind of cool to try to because in some ways he's explained away most of the universe, like some of the monsters, like the vampires are apparently fish people, and werewolves are aliens.
Yep. And then obviously now we have the Frankenstein monster.
Yeah. Now all we need is the creature from the Black Lagoon.
Alien.
Yeah, so that's another cool idea. I'd actually like to see the Doctor go to the. I'd love to see the Doctor go to the Civil War.
Yeah, he's never done that before either.
Yeah, I'd actually like to see him end up with like a group of Confederate soldiers.
Yeah.
And just go, like something's going into their base and killing them off, and
right.
The Doctor's they're just like, you got the look of a Yankee on you, boy. I don't like that. I don't like the Yankees. Oh, you meant the people. I thought you were talking about the baseball game. What time period is this?
Oh, that'd be amazing. Oh God, awesome. I'd just like to see some more off-world stuff as well.
Yeah.
Some more other planets and stuff. Like going back to the past and going to the future is great too. But let's see some alien races that we don't have to have crazy budgets for.
Yeah. One more place I'd love to see the Doctor go in time: the Revolutionary War, and team up with George Washington.
Or Benedict Arnold. Or Nathan Hale. Some shit.
Yeah. The Doctor. Or the Doctor's secretly a Freemason.
Yes.
He helped create the Freemasons.
Yeah. The Doctor rides with Paul Revere.
And even the Doctor at teaming up with meeting Mozart.
Yeah. Yep. Cool.
Anywho, what are some ideas you'd like to see off-world?
You see, that's even harder because then it's very abstract. Like, oh, you can do anything off-world. I mean, I'm just all for some more, some new alien races getting introduced that could become as popular as the Silence and the Weeping Angels. So in terms of ideas, I'd like to see a civilization that is all about genetic engineering. There isn't a lot of genetic engineering in Doctor Who. And I think that it could be really cool to see in it. And this could be the alien race that turns the guy into the superhero. Just deal with some genetic engineering stuff. Like their entire race is genetically engineered.
Yeah.
So a little bit like the things from School Reunion, except a little different.
There's actually another story. This was a fan fiction I read, and it plays out like a Doctor Who story. It was a story that focused around the Ninth Doctor and Rose, and them going to this planet, and the whole time they think they're on this planet, and they think they're on like the planet's surface, because the Doctor discovers he finds like a TARDIS energy signature, and it turns out they ended up on a giant's back who all he does is just walk around the planet, and the planet, this people civilization live on this creature's back, and the monster's heart is kind of like the TARDIS. This destroyed TARDIS is this creature's heart.
Oh, cool!
And it's like the creature has been just letting this civilization he's so big that his ankles, the clouds, the sky's clouds only reach the top of his ankles, and this planet was so polluted, and he just saved this race from extinction, and they just live on his whole civilization's on his back, and he's had a heart problem apparently, so they found the remains of this TARDIS of a dead Time Lord, and they patched this creature up, and in return they live symbiotically on his back, and he just wanders the planet.
Nice.
And it was a really sweet story because the creature is just like I was just trying to help, and the Doctor's very pissed off that first he thinks it's a total insult that this Time Lord's TARDIS is now being used as like a pacemaker.
That sounds a little out of character for him.
Well, you gotta, this is early Eccleston, before he was like, before the end, bad, this is right after End of the World.
Okay, alright, I can buy it. If it's early Eccleston, alright, but I don't know, that sounds a little if it's a dead Time Lord and if they killed him, that would make a lot more sense, but
yeah.
That just gave me another idea, and I completely forgot what it was. Shit. Give me another idea that I don't remember.
I would really like to see, and I think we've talked about this before, is the Doctor meeting some race that inspired Atlantis.
Dude, you read my mind. That's what I was going to say, and I forgot what it was. You just literally read my mind. Dude, telepathy for the win. Internet high five.
Boom.
Yeah, there you go, bro. Yeah, I mean, has the Doctor ever gone to Atlantis?
No, he hasn't.
There you go. Doctor goes to Atlantis.
Yeah, you could say the people were they weren't really humans at all. They were a highly advanced civilization of aliens that came to Earth, and what happened was they experimented on weather control, and it kind of bit them in the ass.
Right.
So they were just trying to they were living as they were the last of their kind. They just wanted to live on this planet, and just kind of rebuild their race or their people, and hopefully try to coincide with the humans. But it kind of messed up.
What if it was? This might be a little bit too much. But what if it was a Time Lord colony after the Time Lord?
Well, the thing is that the Time Lords were just wiped out like that. So
I know, but I'm just saying, even if it was before, that would have been cool. If Atlantis was a bunch of Time Lords who were doing a science experiment.
Yeah. Well, maybe you could have it these were during the Time War. A lot of aliens, their homes were destroyed or their races were wiped out. So maybe you could say these creatures were survived refugees from the Time War.
Yeah. You know what also could be cool, and something I don't think the show has done? What if the damage that the Time War caused, also, since it's explained in Doctor Who that the reason the Time Lords could regenerate was because of their exposure to the vortex. What if the explosion of Gallifrey sent off radiation, that gave other races the ability to at least partially regenerate. So they couldn't have 13, but like maybe 1 or 2 regenerations. So you have an entire race of like early like mock Time Lords who can regenerate, but only a couple times.
Yeah, or you can have it like these Atlanteans get that kind of radiation, and when their city goes under, their bodies regenerate instantly into fish-like beings.
Oh my God! Yeah, there you go. So then you can have they regenerate into creatures that can breathe underwater. Totally.
Yeah.
And thus Aquaman was born.
Yeah, and they're not too happy to see the Doctor.
Yeah, no, they would be like, Judas.
Yeah, they would be like, it's the accursed one.
They just start running.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, and the Doctor would be like, hi, Greg. That's a Fairly Odd Parents reference, people. Anywho, but getting...
Just like that, you stay? What are you doing?
Yeah. I think it would be very interesting to also see, like, the Doctor just, like, I think with these Atlanteans, I wouldn't make them villains right off. Obviously, they'd be pissed off with the Doctor, but in terms of, like, they've just been hiding out underwater, because it's been like, well, the humans haven't found us, they haven't done anything to hurt us, why should we go up on the surface?
Right. We don't have to go up there. We have all we need down here. The Doctor would be like, good philosophy.
Yeah. But of course, you know, this would be like a time period when, I think you could put it like present, this could be a present day story.
Either that, or do it, what if it's the birth of submarine combat?
Yeah, you could do that. Or even like the other creatures you could use with against these these quote unquote Atlanteans are the Silurians.
Right, just like our Bioshock idea, like
Yeah.
it.
Yeah, there were Silurians in John Pertwee's era who lived underwater, so...
Right.
And just say, like, these Atlanteans and Silurians have been duking it out undersea.
Yeah, totally. It could be during, like, World War II where you had all this sub-combat going on.
Yeah, that'd be cool, too, is just having, like, the Doctor on teaming up with this U-boat group.
Yeah, in the middle of this war.
Yeah, or British Navy or something. I don't know, like, I don't really want to do another World War II story. Like, a Brit...
Yeah, I mean, that's the thing. It's been done so fucking much.
Yeah. Maybe, like, during the 50s when the U.S. and the Russians were really trying to learn how to use submarines.
Oh, yeah, they're nuclear subs. Maybe that's the thing that incites the war. A nuclear sub crashes in...
The radiation leaks into the city.
Yeah, exactly, and they blame the Silurians.
Yeah, or the you could have the Silurians jack that American submarine, kill everyone inside, and use it and try to use the whole sub as a nuclear bomb.
Yeah, try to destroy Atlantis that way. That'd be cool.
Yeah, not only that, kind of have the U.S. come after them, like trying to find that sub.
Right. Totally. Could be awesome. The Doctor's trying to prevent World War III.
Yeah. Yeah. There you go. I don't know what you would call that. The fall of Atlantis.
Don't fuck with Atlantis.
Yeah.
Or you just call it the Lost Civilization, or...
Yeah. Or just call it Atlantis.
Yeah.
I don't know, like, it'd be cool to have, like, the Doctor going to these lost cities like Shangri-La, or just like these places have been like that most people like. There's an El Dorado and all that, and
Right.
and the Doctor going to Egypt.
Totally. With like some pharaohs and shit.
Well, the thing is that there, like, you could bring in. There's a race of classic. You've seen Pyramids of Mars, right?
First couple parts, I never finished it.
You see, the Doctor's never really been to Egypt. He's just encountered Egyptian-type things. Although, in Doctor Who: The Forgotten, the first Doctor goes to Egypt. So, but I'd actually have it like the Doctor coming to Egypt and encountering Sutek's people, the Osirans.
Yeah, totally. And maybe you've got like a Sphinx god who's an alien.
Yeah. Well, the thing is, like, the Osirans inspired the Egyptian gods.
Right, totally.
And that would be a great way to bring back Sutek. It's a younger one who's out destroying people.
Right.
Yeah. Yeah. Another. Just a fun episode. The Doctor going to Woodstock.
Oh God, that'd be genius. The Doctor gets high. Oh, hello, Clara. Let's get to open the TARDIS.
He's wearing a tie-dye shirt with like little hippie glasses and a headband. Where did you get all that? I don't know. Where are my clothes?
What? Doctor's freaking me out.
Yeah. Oh look, I brought a banana. Now it's a party.
Woo! Party! Alright, Clara, let's open the TARDIS. You're not driving the TARDIS like that. But I'm going to get you home, Clara. No.
He just like the TARDIS door opens and this pillar of smoke just comes out. Well, and then you just see like 5 guys walk out. Whoa, thanks, Dan.
The Doctor's just like high-fiving him.
Yeah. Oh, he's like, that was the greatest porta potty ever.
Clara's just like, oh my God.
And then when the Doctor sobers up towards the end of the episode, he's like, where did all this come from?
He's just like, oh my God, it's everywhere. TARDIS, clean this up.
And oh God, like when they're leaving Woodstock, they just hear it's like, oh hey guys, and then they just turn around. It's like, I've been lost in here for hours.
Why is there like a swimming pool inside of a porta potty? I'm worried about it. Right.
Yeah. Oh man.
Dude.
Oh, it'd be another great scene. Like the Doctor wanting to go to Woodstock is like, oh, the Doctor and Clara walk out of the theaters, and it's the premiere of Back to the Future.
Yes. We're not even better. You know the Doctor. You know the time vortex. How it's like all trippy and shit.
Yeah.
Maybe the Doctor is like looking at it, and he's just while he's still high, and it's just like, whoa. Or if it's not the Doctor, it's like a hippie, just like, dude, it's the meaning of life.
Oh God.
And
Yeah.
so yes, we want to see the Doctor go high, passing around Dewey.
Yeah. It would be so much fun.
Yeah.
Um.
Come on, BBC, take our ideas, use them.
Yeah.
Parents would be like, we're never letting our kids watch the show again.
In terms of like other like planets the Doctor could go, there's a 6th Doctor episode called Vengeance on Varos, and Varos was a TV controlled area. It was media controlled, and you could play it up like the Eccleston episode Bad Wolf.
Right.
You see, what the Doctor did was he pretty much dismantled the government of Varos because they voted on TV whether to kill or elect a new person.
Oh wow.
It's a very good episode of is violence good for make good entertainment. It's one of the best Colin Baker episodes.
Cool.
And it would be cool to see the Doctor go back to Varos and see that it's a mess because they did because they literally at the end of the episode people are like, what do we do now? I would love to see, and not try to make it like a repeat of the 9th Doctor episode. I'd love to see them just go back to Varos and see what has happened to it.
Like it just fell apart.
Yeah, like the planet is just now, it's like city-states and civil wars, because most of them don't know what to do because the TV's not telling them what to do.
Right. It's like the Dark Ages, like after the fall of the Roman Empire.
Yeah. Exactly. So many places the places the Doctor can go.
I know, it's infinite. He could go anywhere.
Yeah.
But I don't know. There's a lot of places you can take the character, a lot of places that he hasn't gone, a lot of places he's been.
Yeah, you can take him back.
Take him back. Return.
Yeah.
I don't know. I'm kind of run dry here.
Me too, sadly.
Yeah.
So that's the video in general. I think we got at least most of the ideas out.
You know what makes this video even better?
What?
Almost 2 months away from the 50th.
Yeah, boy!
Couple days away from 2 months away. That I'm gonna watch the shit out of that bitch.
Yeah, I've literally told everyone who I know, don't you bother me on the November 23rd.
This time, I am checking out.
Yeah, I am just going to be like, nobody bother me, nobody text me, nobody call me, nothing. I'm going to be on my couch, sitting there, wearing a bow tie or a tie or, you know, a multicolor rainbow jacket.
Dude, I'm not even putting pants on. I'm just going to sit there and take it all in.
That's not a good mental image.
But now you know.
It's in my head.
Zazubaar just sitting there watching the 50th Doctor Who. Nothing but a bowl of popcorn and a robe. That's it. Nothing else. I'm just like, yeah, Doctor Who. I'll tell you who. And then the Christmas special. Got that coming up.
Yeah. Matt Smith's goodbye.
Yep. Wait, what's it going to be called?
I don't know.
I thought you said Xmas Goodbye. Like, is that the title?
No, it's not. And it's so weird because after the 50th, then it'll be only a few weeks away from the Christmas special.
I know. It seems like that should be it. That should be when it happens, but it's gonna be the 50th or the Christmas special, which I guess makes sense. I mean, that's when Tennant regenerated too. So
yeah. Anyway, hope you guys enjoyed this video. You guys tell us where you'd like to see the Doctor go or who'd you like to see the Doctor meet, all that good stuff. And we will see you guys later.
Peace.